What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of 360 Speed. I hope that you are having a fantastic day. As always, if you are new here, consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoy the content that I do. And if you've watched my previous videos and you dropped a like, massively appreciate that. But if you like this video and you enjoy it, please also do the same. It will help the algorithm see it. The YouTube wonders will do its magic and promote this video to more people to see. Anyway, today is going to be an easy one. As I said in a couple of other videos, this is very easy to service, and it's a very good platform to start servicing a car with if you do not know how to service a car. So I thought I'll do you the favor of showing you how to. So let's dive right into this video and I'll show you how to service your car. Let's go. Now, first things first, as you can see, this thing is filthy. Absolutely disgusting. But we are going to clean this after we did all of the things that we need to. We're going to change the filters, we are going to put new oil in, we are going to just make this thing, well, properly serviced and make sure that it's good to go for another 15,000 Ks, which this one has every 15,000 K cycle. So we are going to start off not in the engine bay, but we are going to start with jacking up your car first. So now while that is draining, you need to release the pressure a bit. So we're just going to unscrew the cap. Go. And then that will drain nicely. In there. So what I have here is this nice little tool from NGK to retrieve and put in a spark plug that is located deep in your engine bay. Then a narrow spark plug socket for these type of spark plugs that I need to use for this specific engine. So let's take the spark plugs out next. Doesn't look too bad. A little bit of burning there, but overall the spark plug, if you look there with the electrode and this point here, it looks fairly good. This one also not so bad. Ignore the thread, that is just a little bit of greasy oiliness, but this is mainly the part where you should focus, and it still looks good to go for another, looks around about 10 to 15,000 Ks. Same story. And same story. Now, just a note, these are the new spark plugs that I get from NGK. Very good spark plugs, as you know, but they do not come pre-gapped. They need to be gapped, as you will see on the forums. They say at 1.1, and if you go and you look on the thing, it doesn't actually show you what the gap is, but it just shows you there what you should do. Sorry, let me just get the focus. That it should be gapped to the correct specification. That's what you will see there by my top index finger with the left with the millimeters. Now the specification for a Polo Vivo 1.4, I don't know if it's for the 1.6 as well, but I know for the 1.4 it is 0.7 millimeters of a gap. Otherwise your car will start running like crap. So let's gap these. Now I have the feeler gauge here at the correct thing, so let me just show you. Now as you can see, that gap doesn't look like it's a millimeter or less than a millimeter, but if you slide the feeler gauge in there, you can see I can move it around. I'm sorry for the poor, this is the best angle that I can show you. You can see there's movement between it, but if I take one of the old plugs, there is no gap. It's flush the way it should be, a nice easy movement in and out, and it doesn't move. I can literally hold it. So that's what you want it to do. That's where you want it to be. Just gonna focus for you guys here. So again, you see this tight, nice, snugly fit, perfect. 0.7 gap. This not pre-gap, and this thing just moves in there. It just does not do anything at all. So let's gap them to the correct specification and put them into the car. We now take our correctly gapped spark plugs, you put it into this nifty little tool, and then just push it back in, and will be like this. And then you simply just slide it in, you turn it till it catches, turn until it like starts to grip, and pull out. So you just put it in, you twist it till it catches the thread, turn until it's into the thread enough. We could just pull out the thing, and there you go. So you do that with all of them before you go and you torque them to their specification. I just like to take the rubber thingy out so that when you start torquing the thing, it's not going to try and pull the spark plug back up or keep the socket behind when you pull your extension out. So just put it in a safe place, and then you have an open area to work with, and you know it's just going to be free to move when you want to pull it out. Okay, so now the thing shows us that it needs to go 1/16 roughly, so right about there, from where it catches the thread, where you can't turn it anymore before applying like real physical pressure. So we're going to do that with all of them, just 1/16, like that, like that, like that. And now you need to turn it 2/3 of the way. So we end up, let's say there, So now this needs to be all the way over here. There, that's all you do. And there, spark plug's done. Make sure that you put everything back, locate everything nicely, tighten everything that needs to be tightened, and then put your covers back if you have covers, relocate everything where it should be, and then you're good to go. Just make sure that all of this stuff is put in the correct place. Be careful, if you have a Polo Vivo, be careful, these do tend to break quite quickly. So yeah, and we all know that a coil is not a very cheap item, or coil pack is not a very cheap item on any vehicle. So save yourself the hassle. So sorry that I'm talking to you at this weird angle, but next up we have the oil filter that we need to quickly change. So let me show you how to do that. Luckily Polo Vivo and most VWs are very easy because it either sits in front, or it sits on top, or it sits in front but facing to the bottom. But this one faces upright and, well, at a bit of an angle, but it's upright, it's easy to get to, it's easy to change. So let's do it. I do have a little bit of something on my hand that makes it a little bit more grippy, and this thing isn't too tight because you shouldn't try and kill it while you're putting it on. So as you can see, there we go, screws open, screws off very easily. Here I have the new one. Very well packaged, I must say. Very well packaged. You can see, nice, brand new, clean filter. So they would tell you that you should apply a thin film of oil to the surface of gasket before screwing it on. Tighten filter 3/4 turn after gasket contacts mounting base with a torque of 12 to 16 Newton meters. But mostly you need to be able to tighten it with your hand, but not try to kill it when you turn it, if that makes sense. Not too bad. Filter stays behind, so I'm just gonna take a little bit of oil from here. I know you should actually use clean oil, but that's also a debate for another day. Just like this, clean the surface off here. I know you guys can't see much now, I do apologize for that, but it's literally just this that's gonna go there. And hand tighten it. There we go, just like that. Oil filter replaced. Next step, we are going to put we're going to put up the sump plug, make sure that the oil is drained, and then we're gonna put new oil in, and after that we are going to replace the petrol filter. So guys, now it's time for the oil. I use Castrol Magnetic 10W40 because that's what's recommended for this car, 10W40. Now there's a big debate on which oil is the best for your car. I choose to roll with Castrol, never had any issues with it, but I know there's a lot of guys that did. But so is it with any oil, whether you use Shell, whether you use Castrol, or whatever it might be, Valvoline, or just there's a consensus around everything that there will be people that had bad experiences as well as people who had good experiences. But this car, when it started its life out at VW, they use Castrol. They suggest that you use Castrol. I prefer to use Castrol, never had a bad day with it, so I'm going to continue using Castrol. But feel free to use whichever oil you want to, which you feel comfortable with, as long as it's at the correct specified viscosity for your engine application. So just a quick tip: when you pour from a new bottle, you take out, there's two ways you can do it. And so you can take out this whole ring, or what you can do is you can cut a breather hole up top and another pouring hole for the bottom, so you'd have two half moons, so air can come in and your oil can go out. But principle stays the same. You're not going to pour like this, because the oil might spill over and run down your bottle and down into your engine bay, and you don't want that. So you are going to pour sideways, because then there's a lot easier route for your oil to take right into your filling hole. So we're going to start filling with oil right now. Okay, so now after pouring your oil, it's time to check the oil level. Just clean that first bit off, dip it again to get a representative sample. And as you can see, it's up to its mark where it should be for now. The next step is to start your car, run it so it can get a little bit of heat in the engine, and then you're going to check again. You're going to run it up to roundabout, well, so it's warm enough and everything is lubricated. You let it cool down for 5 minutes, and then you check your oil level again, and then you will be able to see where it should be roundabout. Now in your instruction manual or handbook of your vehicle, it will tell you whether you should run it up to full temperature, half temperature. This you can just warm up, run it for about 5 minutes, let it sit for another 5 minutes, and then check your oil. So close everything off, make sure it's closed, and then make sure everything is removed, nothing is loose, nothing can fall around, because there is going to have to be more oil put in, because now it's going to have to run through the filter so that you can put in your oil. Do apologize for the wind noise. The wind is a little bit irritating today, but hopefully you can still hear me. And it is a new day, so that's why I have other clothes on, but still we are busy with frosting. So we are completely done, well, almost, because there's a few important stuff that you need to do. So I already checked the oil. There was only one thing left to do, and that was to replace this guy. There was only one thing left to do, so that was to check the oil and then replace the petrol filter, which I already did, which is here. You can see nice, and I just put the caps from the new filter onto this so that I've drained the petrol, and now this thing is good to go. I recycle this because it's money, just as you should. And with the same with the old oil, you can see there is oil that we still need to recycle. This is oil that we kept, but we're going to take it to recycling place. Please do not put it in your dustbin. That's not the place where it should go. So you've seen the old one, now it's time to check out the new one, which is right there, as you can see. Quite difficult to see,
but don't worry about the cable ties. They are just there just for preventative things, because these clips are so stupid and they do tend to break. But I fixed the problem with cable ties. I just need to cut these ends off and then it's good to go.
Now what I like to do when I'm servicing my car is to have a checklist and run through the checklist. As you can hear, as you run through the checklist, you can tick the boxes to see that you did everything that you should. This is a minor service, or it's classified as a minor service, because there is not any belts replaced or any pipes or anything major with the suspension or the steering or anything. It's minor, it's just filters, fluids, plugs, that's it. So drain the oil, or open the oil cap, replace spark plugs, replace air filter, replace cabin filter. There's something that we need to do still. And then replace petrol filter, done. And put back the sump plug, fill it with new oil, checked, done. Check oil level, done, correct. And then additional things that we need to check is the water level. So I like to check the water level. Why always make a noise when I'm making a video? Anyway, so check the water level. Now, as you can see, my water level is a little bit low. It's above minimum, but it's under maximum. So yeah, I need to fill this up a bit. So we will do that now. Next thing is to check. Next thing to check is the brakes. Well, already did that. Brake still is fine, but this might be a very good opportunity to check that your handbrake is also working properly. If it's not latching on tightly, maybe you want to adjust it a little bit. Check that your brakes are good. Make sure that they are clean and how far the pads are. Can they still go quite a while or not? And then you know you're good to go. Otherwise, replace it. Then if your car has power steering, check the power steering fluid. But if it's like this car, if it's like the Polo Vivo, it has electric power steering and you don't have fluids for that. So no fluids to check, but do it anyway. Check your power steering fluids if you have. Otherwise, check your power steering fluids. Check. Next up we have a very important one is checking tire pressures. Tire pressures are extremely important. Now this one seems a little bit low because it's dirty, but if you look at it from here, then you can see it's actually fine. The rear is fine as well. But you'll see me in the montage. I'm going to be checking all of those things anyway, just to make sure that this car is ready to go for another 15,000 K. So what we're going to be doing next is quickly replacing the cabin filter, and after that I'm going to do the most important final step, which is to reset your service light, and I'm going to show you how to do it on your Polo and Polo Vivo. I firstly need to apologize if you cannot see what's going on here, if the camera struggles to focus or if it's blurry, but this is where you're gonna find the cabin filter on your Polo. Just pull these two tabs towards you and then the whole system drops out. It's easy to, oh look, oh. Got some nastiness going on there. Right, let's just empty it out over here, and then you can see immediately how dirty that cabin filter is. You can see on there it shows that that is the arrow pointing to which way the airflow is. And then let's take a look at our new one. Now that looks so much better, and surprise surprise, this does not have an arrow on it. Doesn't matter, it really doesn't matter. It should come this way, it should come around this way with the writing on this side. So let's do a comparison for the two. Oh, you can immediately see the difference between those two. Flip them around. Yeah, no, that's just filthy. I think we just need to take this thing in. Bye bye. Okay, so here we go. Make sure it's the correct way. And then also, I do apologize for this poor filming that I'm doing now, but quite difficult to do it with the limited space and one-handedness. But basically the same way it goes in, and or the same way it comes out, it goes back in. Pull the tabs, push it, and you're good to go. Now, just a special note before we do the resetting of the inspection key or the inspection spanner that you will find on your dashboard. As you can see here, I'm keeping my previous set of spark plugs in my car, just for in case it can happen where there is certain instances where the spark plugs can go wrong. So you know that you won't be stranded along the side of the road. You will be able to easily just do a quick swap, and you know that you will replace it with spark plugs that did work, and then you can replace that for a completely new spark plug. So just a very helpful tip there, because it happened to me once where I replaced the spark plugs, had a misfire, and I immediately had to solve my own problem. But luckily I had a backup, so it's always good to have a backup. But let's go reset that inspection spanner. Now, as you can see, the inspection of the service spanner is there. So what you're gonna do when you turn it on, you'll see it shows inspect, but you already did your service, and now you need to reset it. So what you're gonna do is you're going to turn the ignition off, take the key out, press and hold this button, press and hold that button, and then put in the key, and then flick to the right, and it's gone. As easy as that. So now, taking it out, put the key back in, ignition on, and there you go. Inspection spanner is gone. Well guys, thank you. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned something, and I tried to make it quite a little bit entertaining for you. If you learned something new, please drop it in the comments down below. If you have a comment or anything, if you made it to this point in the video, thank you very much for watching till this point. I hope that I can continue making good content for you guys, and thank you for hanging out with me. But guys, I'm gonna start cleaning Frosty now, because Frosty is filthy, has been driven on dusty roads and not been cleaned in 2 weeks. So I really want to get that sorted out. But anyway guys, thank you for hanging out with me. That's all I have for you in this upload. I'll check you next time. Please remember to keep it safe on the roads, buckle up, and well, I'll see you next time. Cheers.